Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys, trader and technical analyst for the last 13 years. And in this video, we're going to check in on a fairly boring market day, but there were definitely individual names that had some nice volatility, PLTR and AI in that sector, and also going to check in on the Chinese stocks and metals, which continue to have my attention into August.
All right, so S&P 500, we had Thursday a big bear day, fully open to looking for further weekly consolidation and shifting to Team Bear. And then on Friday, the bulls said nope. We defended support and the bears failed. This is a very clear failure from the bears to break daily uptrend support. So what does that mean? It means we can say that the S&P 500 has been in a daily uptrend now for pretty much 3 months. And until that changes, nothing's going to change. And the NASDAQ did the exact same thing. The NASDAQ had key daily support, the high or low. Are we about to lose the daily uptrend for the first time in 3 months? I was very open to it. Prove it, bears. In the video Thursday, we must set an hourly lower high and break the low of Thursday on Friday. The bears failed. Daily uptrend support maintained, and we're knocking on the door of all-time highs. That said, here in the short term, I'm anticipating some volatility to pick up tomorrow. And what I'm watching for is, how is the NASDAQ going to break this 4-hour sideways range? We have a triple top at the highs, and we have a base of support with these little higher lows. We're now up knocking on the door of resistance. And if the 4-hour higher lows keep forming, the bulls are going to continue to keep their complete control. So for me, I have a bull lean in the markets as long as the daily uptrend is intact. That's a novel concept, right? But you will find a ton of people struggle to do that. I am long biased in the market as long as the daily uptrend that has been intact for 3 months remains intact. That said, there was some relative weakness out there. Meta had a really nice 4-hour equilibrium shape up. So headed into the morning saying if we fail to break 330 resistance, we'll be looking at a potential 4-hour equilibrium. And that's now what we have. Anything above 309.84 is a higher low, and anticipating more likely than not, we're going to tighten up a bit into the second half of the week. Again, keeping in mind we've got some big earnings out of Apple and Amazon, but not anticipating that Meta is going to see a significant reaction as it has already had earnings. One quick concept I want to talk about is something that took me a long time to get down as a trader, probably 5 years plus. And it is stopping out but re-entering the position with a worse price point. And it sounds counterintuitive, but when that happens, you can still get a spot where you have a good risk-reward setup to re-enter. And Meta is my example today where I shorted Meta on the morning as soon as we hit a new low of the day. And then after this bounce, I then use that level as my stop. And my mistake, and this is something that is part of my personality as a trader, is I get overwhelmed when there's too many open positions. I really just want, if it's a swing trade and I got my stop set, that's fine. But if I'm in day trade positions, as soon as I'm in two, any more, and I'm overwhelmed, trying to follow along and stay on top of things. So my mistake here on Meta was taking partial profit on the bear break to the new low of the day, watching this bounce, and then I shifted my stop, and I used this level as my stop, because it was pretty much my break even. I put my stop right above it. Whereas if I put my stop at the 15-minute resistance, I would have stayed in the position. So I stopped out break even there at 323.80s and then recognized this was probably a 5-minute bear flag and then hopped back in. And at that point, I was making a short $1 lower than I had already stopped out at. It was a $1 worse entry, but it was still profitable. And I had a clear resistance level to be going off of with this double top at 322.77. And you'll recognize that when bears are in control and when bulls are in control, the short-term support and resistance levels are maintained. And so that was a bear flag that rolled over into some more significant weakness. And I did that twice today on MARA, which we'll get to. I stopped out with a small loss when we hit a new low of the day, and then later in the day I entered multiple percent higher long. And again, it's just that mindset of as long as the risk and reward makes sense, it's okay to re-enter the same position at a worse price point. Obviously, it's not ideal, but if I didn't do it, I would be, cheating myself out of potential profit. SMH up at the all-time high. Still not getting convincing follow-through. We're just grinding to little higher highs here. Next daily consolidation, anything above 152.95 will be a daily high or low. If we do start daily consolidation from here, bulls would need to be a bit cautious of the rising wedge. Rising wedges can certainly break bullish in strong markets, but it would be something that bulls would want to be keeping an eye on if we have a red day tomorrow. NVDA, same deal. 480, the bears, that's all the bears have to go off of, is defending 480 resistance. And so we're pretty much sideways for 2 days. And again, when you see this kind of volatility shrink into multiple very small days, you know volatility is going to pick up again. So if we break bear, we'll have a tightening daily range to be watching, and we'll look for a higher low compared to 440, but the burden's on bears to even see that daily consolidation. Chinese names still strong. I have been talking about Chinese names a lot in these videos and on social media. Nobody cares. And that's a good thing for me. You know, if everybody was long Chinese names, I would be cautious, just like everybody was long gold when it last tested the all-time high. That made me uncomfortable. And so that's a good thing, but it's still, I'm a bit surprised that, you know, these names, NIO, BABA, they just have been performing really well. It's just such a beautiful example of the long-term time frames and the laggard mindset and how the different time frames have interacted with each other. You know, we knew the weekly trend change was needed on this pullback, whereas it looked like red flags, but we have to confirm the weekly uptrend to set the monthly high or low. I mean, everything we've been saying for the last 2 months. And there's still work to do, but relative strength. Look at BABA divided by QQQ. It's the strongest it's been in months. And we're looking for this to continue to try and shift as the Chinese names get attention. And the names that I look at is BABA, which I have a position in, Baidu, which would be one of the first to confirm a monthly uptrend at 161 if the bulls were able to pull that off. FXI is a large ETF where the bulls have had very significant relative strength. YINN is a leveraged ETF that I have a position in. We've got NIO and XPEV, just massive explosions from the weakness, just the falling wedge that we were watching. Any name that hasn't seen the 4-month stair step break bull, watch for them to be laggards. We're getting a nice play out. XPEV had a downgrade today, daily consolidation underway, watching a daily higher low to be most likely. But again, just beautiful follow through, great trading opportunity, and we'll see if the bulls maintain the daily uptrend from here. BABA, the overall goal, big picture, is a break of 121.30 to confirm the monthly inverse head and shoulders, but we'll see if we get it. Healthcare, weakest sector today out of the major names. Still holding daily EMA 12. Weekly consolidation is underway. Anything above 128.93 is a weekly high or low. So we're going to watch to see what the retracement size is on this current pullback. Still no major red flags at this point. If we retrace 50% plus, that would start to give us some red flags. Financial sector trying to be a daily bull flag as long as daily EMA 12 support holds. And a little bit of green by the end of the day here. We did see some rebalancing. You know, the bulls shot up after we were a week into the close. But overall, not a lot going on today in the major sectors. It was the individual names. And it was growth names. So IWM is testing the highest levels that we've seen in over 14 months. 198.74. We broke it by a penny, but have to get over that level to be at 14 plus month highs. Plenty of space for a weekly high or low. And when IWM is this green, when the financial sector is not, you know it's growth names. So ARKK bulls with a big green day, second day in a row. I did stop out of my remaining ARKK position after the swing trade entry down here. Sold some into strength. And I did have my stop loss while I was traveling away at the TheChartGuys meetup, which was a blast. I'll put some videos at the end of this video in Boulder, Colorado. But did stop out. And we'll look for a re-entry because if the broader market stays strong and heads to all-time highs, I'm looking for ARKK to head to, $60. Weekly bull flag potentially in play. And the other growth names, PLTR. Again, AI, is it a bubble? Not yet. Charts are not showing as a bubble. PLTR exploding higher, news after hours. Not doing a whole lot, but still has us strong. And AI is weaker than PLTR, but trying to keep grinding its way back up to the recent high. Other growth names, Psychedelics, MNMD, new daily higher low established at 410. Again, very low volume penny stock. A big volume day today was about $7 million traded. But if we break 501, we're looking at a gap to fill at 577, and we're in an area with a lack of resistance. And the reason that we liked watching XPEV, the Chinese EV name, was because we're building a sideways base of support. We're laggard to a strong bull market, and if we get over 1310, there's a lack of resistance. And from the break of 1310, we're up 50%. And so it's the same concept with MNMD. It does not take a lot of volume to move this thing. And we'll see if we can break 501 and keep it going. CMPS, watch the weekly equilibrium. Sideways continues to tighten, trying to set the higher low. Earnings are probably going to dictate the direction of the break, but it's a beautiful year-long equilibrium that is trying to break bull as a laggard. Have to get over 1092 to start it. Cannabis names have a bit of a short squeeze going on. TLRY earnings reaction was a gap up, and it's been pressure on shorts ever since. What I care more about than where we top out here, we got 264 and 287 resistances. The move is nice. We've seen some short squeeze moves before. But when we top out from that momentum, that's what I care about. Do we set the higher low and higher high? Again, supply and demand. Right now, supply of shares has outweighed demand for years. It's been the weakest of the weakest of the weakest sector in the market, the entire market. And now they've flipped where demand is exceeding supply and shorts are being forced to cover. When we see this move top out into daily consolidation, bulls really want to see first hourly oversold conditions mark the daily high or low, and then continuation, because that will prove to us that the scales are continuing to stay tilted to favor demand. Far too many times in this sector, we top out on a squeeze-like move. Here's a beauty example. No daily uptrend. Squeeze move, 100%. All right, we've topped out. The momentum has been lost. Can we confirm the daily uptrend? Nope, we're giving it all back. That can happen again, absolutely. We have to confirm the daily uptrend with higher lows and higher highs once we top out. Other names in the sector trying to follow along. ACB, got to get over 62 to start to prove something. CGC, bears were all over the gap up open today. Got to get over 68 to prove something. Kron's got to get over 235 to prove something significant. But TLRY is the lead bull. When it tops out, the sector will likely top out. Can we confirm daily trend changes? MSOS, little double bottom at the all-time lows and a significant bounce. The other factor, is this just rebalancing? It's now the last day of trading in July. Is this just rebalancing, or is this something more significant? And I still need to see MSOS top out and confirm a daily uptrend if we're going to consider this move anything that has follow through. Otherwise, bears are just going to jump on the short once we tire out. There's going to be nobody left to buy, and we're going to head back to the lows. Got to confirm higher lows and higher highs. Definitely still interested in the sector. I've got the MNMD position. I've got a little CMPS position for the weekly higher low. Got a little MSOS position to ensure I keep my eye on the sector. But if I'm going to go aggressive, I need a lot more confidence than this. Crypto stocks, MARA and Riot had some good days today. Weekly bull flags trying to shape up. Definitely need help from Bitcoin. Bitcoin was weak. These names had relative strength compared to Bitcoin, but we need Bitcoin to get over 29.7 thousand to try and negate the daily bear flag if we're going to see these weekly bull flags confirm in these crypto stocks. The dollar, still bouncing, and I'm very interested in the metals as I keep talking about, and again, it's another sector on social media that people don't really care about. I know there's some metal diehards out there, but not in my feed. And entered some NUGT swing trade today. And my mindset here is this is either the weekly high or low, or I'm wrong and we'll stop out. So I like the risk and reward there, going for the weekly trend change attempt. And if we drop back down and break support, then I will stop out. And gold, daily head and shoulders confirmed, zero follow through. Can that be a quick weekly high or low is the question. And the bulls are trying their best. I like the relative strength in the metals and the miners today compared to the dollar, but I don't like the fact that the dollar is still strong at its highs. I need to see the dollar shape up a weekly lower high, ideally rejecting from EMA 12 resistance if I'm going to continue to gain confidence in the metals. I love the setup for gold, and it will be a setup where I go aggressive, playing metals and miners on a gold all-time high if that shapes up. I'm ready for it. I'm building some positions. I'll stop out if we get red flags, and then I'll increase those positions by averaging up if it does continue to play out into the fall. Again, gold is a monthly cup and handle with a triple top at all-time highs. It's a beauty. Prove it, bulls. I'm paying attention. Oil daily stair-step pattern for the bulls, 7 days in a row, getting to the highest level on this September futures contract in pretty much 9 months. All oil bulls since we got over weekly EMA 12 resistance. And a 4-month higher low is set. Right off EMA 12. Now the question is, do we set a 4-month lower high and form a forever equilibrium into next year? Or what? Natural gas, bulls still not doing much. Have to get back to the recent high of 279. There was a red flag when we lost daily EMA 12, negating the daily bull flag. And bulls need to recover to try and confirm the possible weekly bull flag. Lots going on out there in the individual names. Again, MARA, Riot, AI, PLTR. You don't need much more as a day trader from those names. And going to be watching Meta's 4-hour equilibrium, the NASDAQ's 4-hour tightening range, the metals, the Chinese names. Don't get overwhelmed. Just focus in on a few things that have the volatility that meet your trading style or desires. And we'll continue to check in. Do good things. Thanks for stopping by.
We need to be careful. Oh my god.
Let's see it.
Do you want a hand? No. Pacific. Thanks.
Nice time, you guys.
I wet my sandals in